everybody. Welcome back to Talk With Nia. So, let's get back into our unpopular opinion series. And this time, we're going to be talking about SZA. Now, SZA is a singer that I personally really like, and she's faced some ups and downs in her career, despite the recent success of her latest album, SOS, and the love she received for her previous album, Control. Now, SZA faced some issues, especially with the harsh criticism of her being accused of not being able to sing live.
Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, I just keep them satisfied.
SZA is now redeeming herself because apparently her singing on the SOS tour was good. Now, SZA also had a ton of issues with her record label, and she told her fans that they were the reason for her album taking so long to drop. And she even shared a YouTube video for her album taking so long to drop, like a behind the scenes of her frustrations, at the label wanting to push SOS back even more.
It's my mind, and it's like,
why? What happened?
They just called me and it's like, oh, I think we need to move the album back to the top of the year. After I put so much time and energy into all this shit, I don't have any more.
But wait, why? What was his reasoning? He feels like the order.
It's all the same information that he already had prior about.
Let's go inside.
I just am exhausted. I'm so tired. I'm just tired. I'm sorry.
And was like, he's like, I just want to give everything the most time, to do well, and I'm thinking, he's like, because everything shuts down in holiday. We already talked about that. We talked about that. Everything shuts down in holiday. So we would be raw dogging it, but we dropped Good Days on Christmas and was #1 globally on all streaming. That's Spotify, Apple, everything for more than a week. So it's like, and nothing had ever done that before. Everything's done. The album art is done. The cover art is done. The vinyl pack is done. The merch is done. Everything, the music is done. The track list is done. The mixing was happening while we were doing it. The mixing is done. It's mastered. Everything is done.
Now, we're going to get into some unpopular opinions on SZA and talk about her music, her BBL, and more of what other people had to say.
So somebody recently made this nasty tweet about SZA, basically saying that SZA has a mental illness and she's basically a catfish is the moral of the tweet. And this was a photo she posted on Instagram, and these were the beach photos. And honestly, in my true opinion, I really don't think she looks that bad. I feel like it's just a bad angle. And the thing about having a BBL is when you do gain weight, you gain weight in really weird places. But let me remind you, back in the day, SZA was kind of a bigger girl. And I feel like when you're in the public eye, you have no choice but to slim down. And unfortunately with weight, I feel like it's definitely a lifelong struggle. But honestly, I don't think she looks that bad. I just think it's a bad angle. And I just feel like this energy for Kim K, damn, the Kardashians are the real catfish. But go ahead, go off.
I'm not gonna like this take, but I feel like SZA write music for the side bitches, and I need her to finally see her fucking worth. Because I'm tired of listening to her put herself down track after track. I saw a couple of comments talking about how she dropped this in 2020 or sooner. We'd be singing this with all the fucking air in our goddamn chest, but we've healed too much for this. And now I'm worried about her. Instead of me being like, bitch, yes, I'm like, bitch, are you okay? Don't get it twisted. I'm not oblivious to the toxicity that came in previous albums, but I'm so used to growing with the artist. I thought we were all collectively in this era of healing and becoming better versions of ourselves. So when I heard Blonde, I wholeheartedly thought it was going to be about, we can't see these motherfuckers because we're maintaining our peace, something along those lines. Not, I love the violence, give me dysfunction. What? SZA, what's going on? I like when you come but don't stay the whole night. No, ma'am. And Kill Bill is a confession. I'm going to like this take, but I feel like SZA write music for the side bitches.
I'm sorry, friend, but this is a tad bit problematic. I feel like lately, especially when it comes to Black women music, we've been exposed to a very selective type of women empowerment. And because of that, over the last few years, we only think women empowerment exists in this vacuum. I don't think it's fair to say that she makes side chick music just because her healing journey does not look the same as yours. SZA makes music for the emotionally volatile and vulnerable girls. We know this. This has always been her gospel. Literally, look at her online presence. Like, SZA is quite literally a water sign. She's a Scorpio. On top of that, I feel like this commentary is kind of hurtful to the girls who really can relate to this music and who are in this stage of their healing process. It's one thing to not be able to relate to some of the things that she's saying, but it's a whole other thing to label her as something that is problematic just because you don't agree with where she's coming from. But that's just me.
This is something because this is definitely SOS is a bad album by SZA.
What's your honest opinion with that?
I don't think it's a bad album. I think it's a good album. I feel like people are.
I think people really expected Control.
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Control was 5 years ago.
Yeah, and you know she's grown since then, and she's been through a whole lot.
She was in her 20s. She's in her 30s now.
She's 37. Wow,
she's 33.
Bitch.
Sure, right? Yeah,
wow.
Time has
I
passed.
feel like, I don't think SOS is. When I first heard SOS, I liked it, but I said, damn. But then I think about it, that's not what's a Control with too. I don't like music that I like instantly. Because if I like it instantly, I'm going to keep playing it, and it's not going to be like by week 2, girl, she will not be turned on.
Oh, no.
Now, if I listen to the album again, and then I come back and I listen to it again, and every time I listen to it, I like it more, which I'm going to play it for a year.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
There's really never a song, I don't know, probably just me, there's never really a song or an album that I thought, wow.
I'm just trying to figure out, who was that album for? SZA? Who was that for? After you gave me Control, you sent me SOS? It was giving delete. Come back. I'm just trying to figure out, who was that album for? SZA? Who?
I love SZA, but I quite literally do not want to kill my ex. Or his new girl. I want them to stay as far away from me as possible. And I want her to stop lurking on my TikTok. I already had to block her. Plus, I have a few exes. I don't want to be a serial unaliver now. Come on!
So this is my unpopular opinion about SZA's new album titled SOS. So period, point blank, if y'all are looking for a Control album or a Z album, you are not going to get it. This is an all-new SZA. This is a brand new bitch. Talking about killing niggas like Kill Bill, and she's been all used up. She stole her ex's weed because she hates him. Tragic. We are never going to get a broken clock again. We are never getting a normal girl. And it's definitely no more fucking your nigga on the weekends because SZA got fed up this album. She did. But if you are willing to stick with SZA through her many changes, this is the album for you. She's giving alternative.
Okay, so I kind of hate to be this person because I really wanted to love this album, but I really don't like the SZA album. It's giving Insecure Woman to me, and I just feel like, why is there a song about killing your ex? Like, why do we care about our ex? You know, it says like, I was special, but I gave my special to a loser and now I'm a loser. It's like, what? I'm not singing that because, like, I'm just not resonating with the album. Am I just a hater?
Now, as far as my opinion on SZA, I'm a little biased because I love SZA. I love me some SZA. I fell in love with the Control album. I like a good amount of songs on the SOS album. And I'm going to always be here for SZA, right? However, I really don't feel like SZA should do anybody any favors as far as working on anybody else's songs outside of Travis Scott right now, pretty much. Because I was so disappointed when she was like sharing in the interview after SOS dropped that really nobody came through for her like that when it came to giving her features for her album.
Like begging people, and sometimes people turn in their verses and sometimes they don't. And like a lot of people just like did not turn in their verses. So at the same token, it's just like, damn, this sucks. I really needed you. I wish you showed up for me. And then, but I'm sure they felt the same way for me. But I don't know. I'm grateful that those who did show up for me did. And I love Travis, and he always shows up for me. So
you telling me, that this girl is doing features with Doja Cat, other people, songs that do really well, and nobody showed up for her? I don't think SZA should do anybody any freaking favors, and she should do solo songs. I mean, if she dropped an album like SOS, where she barely had any features on it and it did as well as it is currently doing, girl, you don't need nobody. Okay? All right? Don't extend a hand if they ain't going to extend one back to you. That's my opinion on the whole matter. Now, if SZA want to go ahead and be a little more naked now, she's showing off the BBL, let her do what she want to do. Because I have noticed that, you know, and it looks good. The BBL looks good. Okay? It looks good, so I'm not mad at it. But, you know, I ain't got too much on SZA. That's my girl. Let me know what y'all think down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.